We just had our Transgender Day of Visibility at the Jefferson County Courthouse yesterday from 11 to 1. And we had a beautiful turnout. And by far, the honks of support and the waves and the solidarity was overwhelmingly there. But we did deal with some middle fingers and some tire squealing. And yes, some people got their phones out. And some people, went on with that nonsense.
But I mean, it feels. I don't even know how to explain it. Again, I'm black, so when people ostracize me or treat me a certain way, it pisses me off. So like, if I can see from a distance, like, again, I can't remember if it was you. Do you live in Mount Vernon?
I do.
So it probably possibly was you. It was at the Circle K on 27th Street right here.
Look, those
I
that
could just see
mind,
somebody filming, and I'm just like, why they don't even know.
those that
Why they
mind don't
filming them?
matter, and those that matter don't mind.
I will say that we talked about white privilege. There is also a privilege that I have to come here, be on camera, and be in front of you and present the way I do. Hundreds, if not thousands, of trans people before me have been murdered, died, killed, just being themselves. Someone with a camera in my face is the least of my concerns.
Mm-hmm. Because you have the privilege of still being here after.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree.
Beautiful.
That's an awesome answer. That's an awesome answer. I just know you guys got a little bit more restraint than me. I'm very hostile when it comes to people in my space. You can't even get, like, a male cannot. I don't care if you had an issue with my wife. She's got a husband. Come talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get close to her. So in my case, if you was my son, if you was my daughter, if you was my whatever the case is, man, I've been killed, motherfucker.
And arguably, you have that luxury, Terry.
Seriously.
Come on now.
We be in the store, they would have did that to you. I would choke them motherfuckers. They would have
Probably
been
they
like,
wouldn't have done
seriously.
it to
That's
you.
just what I would have did, because why you film? You ain't filming a heterosexual. You ain't filming this dude over here. You ain't no. Stop that.
I'm not advocating for violence, but what we need is people in this community who will speak up. That's one of the main missions of OUT, is our outreach into our community. We want allies.
But in this community, how do you guys ensure that your outreach efforts actually are inclusive for the LGBT community?
I think being able to have like a wide range of, how do I say this?
Representation.
Maybe representation on the board. Again, I just said this earlier. I'd love for it to be broader. Before,
We all would. We've conversated on that as a board.
but I remember before I joined the board, there was not a trans person on the board at all. There was 2 gay people, Amanda, who I like, and some allies, and I am so grateful to have them. But when you are looking at it from that perspective, even amongst your peers, you can feel a little isolated because they may not know necessarily what your needs are, because they just haven't had the same lived experiences. So I think by broadening, and we brought Gemma on now too, who has like her own experiences that are very different from mine because we're different people. But being able to continue broadening who is on the board, who we're working with, will help us continue to be more inclusive in our events and in what we do, because we will have more. I can't think of the word. We will have more people's opinions, more of their experiences, what they know, their expertise.
Okay. So, like, what does, like, with Mount Vernon, and I keep wanting to use the word Mount Vernon because that's what my page is about, evidently. Mm-hmm. Jefferson County as a whole, just Mount Vernon too. How do you ensure when you're talking? I've heard you, and I can see you are really wanting more diversity within this group. How do you make that happen and just not talk about it?
T wasn't with us yesterday, but when we left the Transgender Day Visibility, a small group of us went around putting up our Pride in the Park flyers and switching them from Transgender Day of Visibility flyers to Pride in the Park flyers. And we had a really good conversation about that and what you and I talked about last week with that. So we stopped at a Black-owned business and talked to that person. They're getting ready to have an event. How can we be involved in that event and make ourselves seen, being around people that we want to be around us.
Right. And I seen the picture. I know the business that you went to. It is the middle of town. It is where we all go. People that look like me. It's where we go to eat. Another thing that I wanted to mention to you, Third Saturdays. Have you ever thought about setting a table up? Third Saturday flea market in the mall here in Mount Vernon. Like, you guys have pamphlets and stuff. I do Third Saturdays because I film for her. And I see, LGBT, or I hate to use the word gay. I see gay people walking around. And I was just wondering if you guys can maybe, be there, and I don't know. I'm just wondering why you guys are not at more wide range events, Ash Bash, Fall Fest.
So we're a pretty new organization. Our board is all very new, just in the past 6 to 9 months. Everybody on the board is fresh and a little green around the gills. We don't have the strong volunteer base that we would like to have. It's largely the board members. Gemma is a committee member. Within that board, we're working on building that up. I volunteer for other things, and we all have our families and our mental health and our physical health we try to take care of. I think largely that's it. Also, we rely on sponsorships and vendors to come to our event, to put that money in the bank where we can afford to pay entry fees to things like that.
So do you think vendors...
We are growing. We are growing. We are branching out. And we hope that you do see us more and more often in the next year at more and more things.
So do you guys think vendors are hard to acquire when you guys have stuff like Pride Fest? If I go to Fall Fest or anything, you'll see every vendor from here to DuQuoin. I was at y'all Pride Fest last year. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So is it hard to acquire vendors?
The right people with the right heart of love and just wanting to love on the human race will be there. I don't want to force anybody. I don't want to force anybody to be anywhere near what they don't want to be around or who they don't want to be around, but it is their loss.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this loud. If you are questioning these people sexuality, you asking them about their sexuality, then you yourself have a problem with your own sexuality. Plain and simple.